very proud of our guys on Saturday night. It was a very unique game in the fact that they were ready to play, and they came out and started the game well, and we had a great game going. I think it's the second largest crowd I heard in TCU history, and a really good night, kind of a reflection of the old Southwest Conference for a lot of our fans that got up to Fort Worth. And at the same time, I've never been involved in anything like a 3-hour and 6-minute delay at that point in the ball game. So it was very unique. We thought we learned from Brigham Young in the fact that we didn't tell them 2 or 3 different times to be ready to go back out because we actually didn't know, didn't have any idea, and it was 1 hour and 47 minutes at Brigham Young, and in this case, over 3 hours. So we actually treated it like halftime, except the guys did take their pads off. Some listened to their music. Some sat and talked to each other. Some went to sleep. Same with the coaches. But we also had our halftime visits with our coaches to go over certain adjustments that we thought we needed after the first half. Now, you can't take video help from the first half in at halftime. So some fans have asked, did you get a chance to go back and review some of the first half on video? And you can't. That's against NCAA rules. You can't use any of that to help you at halftime. So we didn't have anything other than just what we saw in the first half to adjust. And then smarter than Brigham Young, and it was a little bit longer, we were able to feed the guys a little snack and give them something to eat because they got hungry. And that's probably the thing that excited them the most during the break, because football players like to eat. So we had some chicken fingers, and I was worried about Case with a slick ball with the grease on his fingers, so we wouldn't let him eat very much. But the other guys came back out, and then when it was time to go out, I was really pleased with the way they came out and played the second half. Got to thank the fans that came. Number one, because we had great support there. But I told the players coming back out on the field, there may not be anybody in this stadium. It's so unique to have a 3-hour delay, and so just be ready for that. And then our band was there, our support groups were all there. They were pumped and ready to go and helped our guys get excited taking the field. And then we had so many fans that stayed that came down to the 50-yard line right behind the bench, and that was fun because all the students at TCU were there, and our bunch kind of drowned their excitement out as the game went on. So it ended up being a lot of fun, and we've heard from so many fans that stayed up and watch the game at the end too. So appreciate, like always, our great fans, but I can't say enough about the band and the support group for staying there, because they made a huge difference in the ball game. And that kind of brings us to this weekend. We'll be coming back home for the first time in a while. And we want it packed, we want it full. We're sitting here 4-0 in the Big 12 race. Our team has improved a lot. And I want our fans to come out and say thank you to not only the way they're playing, but also support them and help them move forward and beat Kansas on Saturday. Questions?
Can you describe from when you took the field against K-State the last time you were at home and all the things that were going on to taking the field against Kansas and all that's happened since? What's changed with this team? Why has it made such strides?
I think the biggest thing that's changed with the team is confidence. We've had to change our identity because we had David and David Ash and all the things that he was doing for the identity, and your quarterback has to be a huge part of who you are offensively. Case and David are much different in a lot of ways, but specifically with what they do. Case is more of a drop-back passer, and David could run and make some plays with his feet, run some option quarterback draw, and sprint out and boot and naked more. So that's probably been the biggest thing, that we found our identity on offense, and we're going to be a very physical running football team and take our deep shots. And that's what we've talked about for the last couple of years, and I'm very proud the offensive line's improved since that time. We haven't had a sack in 9 quarters, and TCU was one of the best sack teams in the country. They were averaging over 2 for the last 8 games per game. And when you run the ball that well, we had the ball over 11 minutes in the fourth quarter Saturday night. We took over the fourth quarter against OU offensively. That helps you on defense. We're playing with so much more confidence on defense than we were at that time. We only missed 2 tackles for 7 yards, and that's a huge improvement, obviously. We're getting more pressure on the quarterback. Casey Paha is a really good player. I expect him to have a great finish to the year, but we were all over him. We were in his face a lot. Our front four was playing great early, but you didn't realize it because of the nature of the option and things that teams were doing to stay away from them early in the year. But now we're getting some teams in second and long and third and long, and those front four guys are really doing a tremendous job of rushing the passer. And we're seeing some signs of improvement in our kicking game with the punt returns for sure, with Dejay in there. But I think that's another area we've got to improve.
Mack, the commitment to running the ball on Saturday, I mean, at times maybe you go away from it when it didn't work early in the game, and Saturday it didn't seem like it was working that well early, but you still stayed with it. How important was that?
It was very important. We had 60 rushes against Oklahoma. We had 52 the other night. And then you start breaking those bigger plays in the third and fourth quarter, and that's who we are, and that's what we're going to do, and still continue to throw the ball downfield. And I do think there's things that we can help our guys with. We came right at them with very simple thoughts. Could have a little more misdirection, could have had some other things added to it Saturday night, but good for the guys that they rushed for nearly 200 yards against a great rushing defense.
Mack, what's the message to the team when you're playing against a team that's had their struggles and haven't won a Big 12 game in 2 years?
The message to our team is go back and watch last year's video. You got out by the skin of your teeth with 12 seconds left. And if that doesn't help you get excited about Saturday, then nothing should.
Why do you think Kansas has struggled so much this year?
We're just studying them right now. I have great respect for Charlie Weiss. He's a really good friend of mine, and guy's been involved in 3 Super Bowls and won a lot of games and bowl games at Notre Dame, and he will get it fixed. Dave Campo, Cowboys, they got great minds that are working on this every day, and you can see them better. I think one of the things, they obviously started lower than the other teams in the league when Charlie got there, and had some problems, and our league's so good right now that you got to play every week, and I expect them to come in here excited about this weekend. They'll see last year's video too. They can say it's the same guys.
Have you ever experienced anything where you're away from home for an entire month mid-season?
No, and it is what it is. So that's why I'm excited about being back, and I'm glad that we're on a little wave of momentum here that and the fans know how badly we want to keep winning, and Saturday's critical for us to get to our ultimate goal. So fans, come on out and be pumped and say thank you to these guys, but also tell them you appreciate the effort, because they were gone for dead coming into Kansas State last time we were here, and they've risen up now, and they're playing hard.
Matt, you mentioned the confidence of this team. Seems similar to '98 with the 2 early losses, the defense not playing well. You on a roll. It's like the team can't lose.
Well, right now it is probably pretty similar to that, Mike, when you go back and talk about it. And I remember after the second loss, Ricky Williams said, "Coach, this is where we were exactly." And I did say, "But we had you." So but the guys know it's a tough 5 weeks ahead. 5 games ahead, but they do understand that we have a chance to be as good as anybody, but that anybody in that 5-game stretch can beat them. So they've got to go back, and we can improve a lot of things from Saturday night. And that's the good thing, I think, Mike, more than anything else. We're still not near as good as this team can be, but they're playing with passion. They're playing together. I told them in yesterday's meeting we're playing as a team. We're running it. We're hitting deep shots. We're helping the defense. The defense is stopping the run. Just the flip side of last year at this time, we had lost to Kansas State, OU, and TCU, and we've beaten 3 of those over the last 4 ball games. But in last year's game, they rushed for 277. Boykin rushed for 77 of those, and we rushed for 86. And we flipped those numbers on Saturday night in a lot of ways, and I think that's the difference in the game.
Is that the hard part of coaching? Is coaching confidence? Is getting the guys confident again?
It is. They losing stinks, and everything's bad when you lose. Everything's bad. They feel bad. Their parents feel bad. Fans feel bad. Media's bad. Coaches feel bad. Everything stinks. Everybody's griping about not getting to play enough when you lose. Everybody's hurt in the training room. Yesterday, nobody's in the training room. It's just unbelievable. Winning fixes everything, and that's why you need to win. You need to win every game. Just understand it is what it is.
Matt, you've talked a lot about your offense helping out your defense. Now it seems like that's almost, your defense is making plays to win games. Pretty remarkable turnaround in that aspect.
It is. You need to start fast, and we didn't against TCU last year. We throw the interception when we're coming down the field. We're moving the ball, but we throw an interception. They get it in the first play of the game. They hit a 55-yard pass, and then they keep the momentum throughout the ball game. The sack and forced fumble at the 3-yard line was huge to get us the quick start, short field, and then we lined up and just knocked it in, and were really physical when we were doing that. And then to get up by 10 off of another turnover, even though you had to drive it 80 yards. Turnovers, sacks, tackles for loss, all those things they're things that just kill momentum, and they give you a confidence boost, but the other team just can't imagine having those things because we preach all the time that turnovers get you beat. So when they see one, they feel getting beat. And when we score first, we've usually won the ball game, and we did that as well. But I was proud that not only did we have the fast start, but we finished really well before the half because we only had like 38 seconds or something and took it down the field and kicked the field goal. And that was so unique because I've never been in a situation where you go back out with 6 minutes left in the first half and have to tell your team and your coaches, now you realize this is halftime. This isn't the end of a quarter. This is the end of the half. So we need to score. We just don't punt it here, or we're going to kick it off in a few minutes. And it was very unique. And they all said, oh, yeah, that's right. So, but I was proud that the guys continued to play and kept focus.
Coach, you've already said that David will not be available this weekend. What will this week be like for him? Will he continue to be a part of your meetings and attending practice?
Yes, they actually told us yesterday in our staff meeting that he is making some progress. And I saw him, and he said he actually threw some balls this weekend, and so our fans to know he is doing much better. Now, when he returns to play, who knows, but I think that the symptoms are subsiding.
You said this weekend the decision to put Tyrone in. He needed to know that he had to be ready. What was the thought process like leading up to the moment with a little under 5 minutes left in the game for that to be the time Tyrone got his first snap?
When you are on the headsets, we've always talked about that, and we could have put Jalen in and not played Tyrone, but we knew at that point David would not be playing at Kansas. And we've said without question that if we had a chance to put Tyrone in, we would. We didn't really see a chance at Iowa State. We didn't really see a chance at Oklahoma. If it would have been in at Oklahoma, he would have gone in, obviously, at the end, but that's not the type setting you put him in. And then we put him in Saturday night. We called 2 passes that ended up being runs, so we thought we'd get him a couple of throws. But he's wanted to play. We've got to beat Kansas. If Case sprained an ankle today, walking over here, Tyrone would have needed to be the starter. And even talking to Tyrone after the game, I said, what'd you think? Did you like it? And he says, yeah, he's a little different than Whitewright. But I thought, yeah, and even more if there'd been more fans there. So I think it was a perfect setting to put him in, and now he'll have to get ready to go this weekend.
Is there any plan to play him like the third series or anything to get him in before the game? You know,
our plan will be to beat Kansas, period. And we'll talk about all that then, but as we know at Texas, the second team backup quarterback is the most talked about player in the history of Texas football. So
How big? Go ahead, Chris. You got it.
no. Anthony's been around. He can wait.
How big has Greg Robinson been for helping change the kind of the culture in the locker room, especially with the defense?
Greg has been really good in that he brought expertise, but he brought confidence in. He brought 3 Super Bowls. He brought a Rose Bowl championship against Michigan in here. And I really believe that the fact that Jackson Jeffcoat and Chris Whaley and guys like Jordan Hicks and Adrian Phillips and Carrington Bynum, older guys that have been around this team a long time, tangibly saw what difference he made for the Kansas State game. You couldn't see it at Ole Miss. And they said they want to be good. They want to win. So when they saw that, it brought much more confidence to who they are and what they are. And because of that, they're playing lights out, and they're swarming the ball, and you miss fewer tackles when you've got confidence. And our front's been playing good, like I said, the whole time. You just couldn't see it because there's a lot of option early, and we didn't have people in second long, third long, and now Ced Reed and Jackson Jeffcoat, Malcolm and Chris Whaley are rushing the passer as good as anybody in the country. And to hold a team like TCU to 40-something yards rushing is a great compliment for those guys. And we can still get better. We had some mess ups Saturday night. We had some, we got beat on the trick play. So we've got some things that we can continue to improve. But I'm also, when you have two tough games like we had early in the season, you go one way or the other. There becomes finger pointing, your team splits, your staff splits, they all call around and start looking for jobs, or you can go back to work. And we had that discussion with the players, and we had that discussion with our staff, and everybody decided that we owe Texas, we're going back to work. That's who we are, and that's what we do. And that defensive staff has bonded so well together. The players now have gravitated toward that bond, and they're having fun. They're enjoying who they are. And now the offense and defense are really doing well together because they're really affecting each other. They do understand if we run for 200 yards and hold somebody to very little, we're probably going to win the game. And they understand that, and they're watching it. And yesterday in the meeting, when we were talking about the offenses running the ball and the big play ability in the passing game, the defense was giving them standing ovations and vice versa. So they're really, really proud of what's happened over the last 4 weeks. Just got to keep it going.
Coach, John gave a great stat. Offensive line, no sacks in the last 9 quarters. How much can you brag on those offensive linemen and the job they did against two great defenses?
Again, they're having a lot of fun because they like running the ball. Those big guys like to eat, and they like to run the ball. That's about it now with those offensive linemen. The rest of it, you can kind of throw it out of the way. But when you run the ball and you're pounding people, they just get to come off and come off and come off. And when that happens, the defense takes a different mindset, and they cannot be in a position to be excited about rushing the passer because they have to take on the run first. And then you get confidence, and you don't want your quarterback touched. I don't think Case got knocked down Saturday night. And if he did, it was once that they touched him, and it was just the opposite for the other bunch. So those guys are playing at a very, very high level, and it's fun for them. They've taken a lot of criticism over the last couple of years. This is who we've wanted to be for the last 3 years. On certain moments, it's shown up, but everybody would ask, when are you going to do it against a good defense like OU? When are you going to run the ball against a good defense like TCU? And we've been able to do that the last 2 weeks, so that's confirmation that we can do it. Now we've got to continue to create the edge for this weekend, play up to a standard, and make sure that we continue with that same attitude.
Which do they like more, eating or running the ball?
Don't ask. You'd probably be disappointed. Look at them.
Coach, after running the table in October, is it okay for fans to feel good about this team again?
I would hope that they would have felt good about them after losses. In fact, that we're going to fix it. They've seen this before, and go back. But it is good. I think our fans have been great. People talk about fans. When you lose games, fans are going to quit. They're going to leave. That's what it is. That's not new. So to me, I want our fans to be proud of the adversity that this bunch has overcome. If you look at what's happened with this team and this coaching staff right now, it's what we fight every day in our lives. Everybody has adversity. Some lay down and quit, some point fingers, some families split up, or you can go back to work and fix it. And the message so far that these assistant coaches and these players are doing is saying, whatever's out there that's bad, let's fix it. And let's move forward. Now, you don't want to get full of yourself now. And I wondered about Saturday night. Would we be so full of 2 weeks of being bragged on after beating OU? Would we show up? And they did. And they showed up, and they overcame adversity Saturday night. And I'm really liking what I see. I like this team, and I want our fans to like them. And we can go back, and, it's like a 40-year marriage. You can go back and gripe about the things that happened early in the marriage or enjoy the latter part. And right now, it is what it is in the beginning, but we're on a roll, and it's fun, and our guys are enjoying it, and we need to enjoy them.
Is that the case Saturday, coming home thinking everything's always great at home, and that's one thing you have to guard against with you guys?
There's no doubt. The other thing is, and the 05 doesn't relate in the goals out there for this team and those type things. But in 05, we started playing to a standard. And that was really important, and that's what got that team to the national championship in my estimation. And this team has to play to a standard to realize their goal. We have to get better. We can't have the sloppy interceptions at the end of the game. We can't have the 4 penalties on kick teams. We can't have a block in the back on a punt return for a touchdown. We can't have a trick play for a touchdown. So we can coach them even harder now because of the wins than we did that 2 weeks where everybody was jumping on them. Because now a lot of people are bragging on them, and they've got to be smart. They've got to be careful. And I told them they got memories. They understand what losing brings and what winning brings. So if you like this better than that, which I do, get back. We got back at, I think I walked in the house at 5:30 in the morning, and it didn't feel bad. You know, getting back from Brigham Young didn't feel good. It was the same trip after a rain delay. So understand there were differences, and the difference was we played better and won.
Anything else?
Coach, I know that this is pretty important to you. Guys we know, guys you coach. What a great week to celebrate those guys, and they're legends in my eyes, and I know you're proud of them.
Yes, we are. Just the Hall of Honor is really, really special at the University of Texas. It is our Hall of Fame, and it comes up about this time every year. And this year, Rene Ramirez, Julius Whittier, Roy Williams, who played for us, and Quentin Jammer, who played for us, and Quandre will go listen to his brother being inducted on Friday night before the game and get back to us. Or that'll be a special night for a lot of reasons for us. But also Larry Falk, who's been around here forever, and done so much in all sports, is being inducted. T.J. Ford, one of the best basketball players to ever play the game, and still comes back and really helps us. And then Lou Bagwell in baseball, and Brian Kasarik in baseball will also be inducted. So it's a great night. Congratulations to those guys, and like Anthony said, thank you for all you've done for us. And I'm really proud to see 2 of our ex-players that did so much for us get to come back, and they're giddy like little kids. They're pumped about it. Maybe we can get some plays out of both of them.